Hello everybody, welcome to an extra special EDH Deck Tech. This is Laziest Oloro, aka Game of Thrones. I mean, just look at this guy. Does he not embody laziness? Do you know Oloro players in your play group? Did they just sit around and gain life and don't really do anything for it? Do they daydream while they're just kind of durdling around? Am I being offensive to a lot of folks out there? Maybe. But I can't be the only one. Because, I mean, look at this article that came out when Oloro hit the streets. Or the 4,990 results for Laziest Oloro decks. So, one bonus to playing my version of the deck is that it's actually a theme deck. It's chair tribal. So if you're used to insane board states and trying to keep track of a bunch of things, this is more of a joke. It's more of a fun thing. So the inspiration for it was alphabetizing my Magic card collection. Yep, that's right. When I got to the T's and the artifacts, I saw that there was, 1, 2 thrones, people, thrones, lots of thrones. As soon as I saw the thrones, I thought to myself, who sits in chairs and loves to be lazy? Oloro's image popped up right in my mind. I mean, look at this chair. I've always wanted to play it. I never really had a chance to. It makes everything get bigger. And then I thought to myself, man, you know what I liked in M12 draft and sealed? This combo of 3 cards that I was never able to pull together. By themselves, not great. Deal 1 damage to target player, Scepter of Empires, really? That's it? Not even a creature? But, man, when they get all out on the table, living that dream life, pretty sweet. Making 5 tokens, taking control of creatures, and doing 3 damage. Pretty sweet indeed. See if that happens. Anyways, also going with that is the Throne Warden, guy that protects it and then just gets bigger if you're the Monarch at the end step. Garrulous Sycophant, who sits there and preaches to everybody, oh, it's all great, the king is wonderful, everybody's losing life, and I'm gaining life, but ignore that. Throne of the High City, you sacrifice this to get your crown on. And then I figured, what do kings and queens and lazy aristocrats do? Well, they judge things, and then they get together with their little councils. It didn't work out well for Ned Stark, but I hope it works out well for you. Hope you can draw some cards, take some extra turns. These are the 4 best, in my opinion, kind of council cards. Coercive Portal might be in there too, but I just chose these 4. Expropriate's a bomb. You know it is. Take some time to read it on your own if you can. But first, before I get too deep, I want to go ahead and give props to another person who saw a bunch of chairs and thought, I should make a chair tribal deck. So I'm not the only psycho in the room, I guess. So kudos to you, Dr. D92. So here's some more throne options, some of which the Dr. D had in his deck, like King Suleiman, who's uber expensive. Blind Obedience is something I would definitely add if I had one. Order of Secession, similarly, I think is awesome. I think it's cool that Seeds of Delirium has a chair in the background. Sorceress Queen, Dark Tutelage would kill me in this deck, so that's a bonus, I guess, if you're suicidal, like one of our cards later. But before we get to that, let's talk about our mana base. We're going to get more into the deck tech part of the Game of Thrones deck. Let's zoom out. 3 islands, we'll keep it simple. 3 swamps, and then 3 plains. And I went ahead and used all the same art, or the same artists to keep them, I don't know, I guess they're probably thematic that way. Bajuka Bog, here's some lands. These lands aren't really that thematic, but I've always wanted to play Leech-Ridden Swamp ever since I saw it, and I never really have for some reason. I feel like in an Orthoff deck, though, it actually makes sense. If you don't know what it does, you pay a black tap, each opponent loses a life. That's only if you have like a swamp in play or something like that, or a black permanent maybe. So there's some duels. Cave of Koilos, good old KB. Esper Panorama. I've only got kind of 2 fetches in this whole deck, this one and this one. This is for the Throne of Geth, which sacks an artifact to proliferate. So I figured, by the way, Seat of the Synod, get the pun? Anyway, here's some Ravnica bounce lands. And then we've got the 3 man lands. I just happen to have some extras. This is my 9th EDH deck that I have together currently, so my card supply is running a little thin. But I just so happen to have all 3 of the colors to put those in. Arcane Sanctum, the Triland, City of Brass to kind of fix some mana. Command Tower, yay. Exotic Orchard. And Forbidden Orchard, where you get crappy tokens to give to people. And then the Italian Strip Mine, which is way worse than the English Strip Mine. I won't have to explain that to anybody, I hope. Glacial Chasm, because you want to sit around and do nothing. That's one theme of this deck, is being lazy. And Springjack Pasture. Make your goats. Make lots of white tokens. There's a reason to make white tokens in this deck. The Throne of Empires did it. The Goat Maker does it. Here's some mana rocks. I've only got 6 of them. We got 3 signets. We got the Armillary Sphere, which gets basic lands. We got the Talisman of Progress, which is white-blue. And then we've got the Soul Ring. So, only 6 rocks. That's probably a mistake. I've got 37 lands in the deck. Who knows? I haven't played it yet. We'll see. But while you're just sitting there on your chair, Oloro, you can sit there and ponder, brainstorm, and preordain. And then this guy, he can do some forbidden alchemy. Who knows what kind of alchemical things he's doing. And also, while you're holding up mana, waiting for stuff to happen, you can crumple things and rewind things. And there's only 3 counter spells. These are just to protect you. This deck is not about charity. Kaya fits with the Orzhov theme of draining people for life. That's a theme that goes through the deck as well. This is not competitive, though. This isn't going to win you the table. It might win some laughs. But I did want some protection, you know. Merciless Eviction. I figured what do kings do? They have some cruel entertainment where they pit your friends against one another. That seems like a really fun thing to do. Decree of Pain. I just like the word decree. I decree pain. And then, okay, so let's give Sigil of the Empty Throne its own little section. Here's another throne. It's empty. Let's play a game. This is Angel's Share and the Enchantments. The worst band name ever. So I noticed in a lot of, if I was looking for chairs in the art, Enchantments was like the clear winner. There's so many chairs in enchantment spells. That's not a chair. Unless you imagine they're all sitting on chairs. But these are some rattlesnake cards because I don't want people to hit me. There are also enchantments that trigger the angel chair to make a 4/4 angel. Greed is, however, a fantastic chair on an enchantment with a guy vomiting gold. And then Marchesa's Degree is pretty sweet because it's sort of like a rattlesnake effect for black. If you attack me, then you take a damage. That's pretty sweet. And it makes you the monarch. And then this is like, oh man, this guy wants a chair, but he doesn't have one. And now he's just like so sad that he can only cast 1 spell every turn. Great quote from The Office. First time I ever heard biscuit used for the word butt or ass. Makes sense to me. Sitting on your biscuit. So what do you think about that, Oloro? Do you have any thoughts in your empty head at all? No. Here's some other people sitting down on things. Mother of Runes, getting her morning cup of joe. Spirit of the Labyrinth, sitting on a really hard chair, but she's a spirit, so that doesn't matter. Leonin Arbiter, being cat-like and lazy. What's he doing? Preventing you from searching libraries. Kami of the Crescent Moon, 1 step away from suicide, apparently. Not really sure what the text on this card means. Does it mean that everybody draws an extra card? Maybe you can tell me in the comments below. High Priest of Penance, got a big gold ring around his head. Sitting there, can't move at all. Orzhov, Ghost Council Korolov guy. He exiles creatures. He gets counters on them. You can proliferate those with the good old Throne of Geth, I suppose. And then because you have a lot of thrones, they're all artifacts, you want to get them back in case somebody destroys them with Hand of Ship's Navigator, who's pretty bored. Similarly bored is Maruki Rebarrett. She must have taken control of something, and now she's just tapped out, and she can't do anything, and she's just like, oh my god, when are they finally going to let me do something again? Kumbal, so bored that his face is blacked out. Was the artist just feeling really lazy or something? Grand Arbiter Augustin. You'll be hated right off the table with this card. Makes everybody's life worse and yours better. And all he does is just sit there. It fits this deck, doesn't it? Brago finally gotten up from his throne. And it's funny that Kaya Ghost Assassin is also in this deck. Because she kills him. King Makar the Gold Cursed. He is so bored. Look at this guy. He's like falling asleep in his chair. He's like, I turned my dog into gold. why did I do that? Why did I even turn? Anyways, he turns things into gold. He exiles them, and then you can like get a gold token and have some mana instead. Cloud Goat Ranger makes little friends to play with. He's like a Bob Ross of the giant world. And he just sits on a stump, which is like a throne to giants. And here's a do-nothing win condition. I feel like do-nothing win conditions fit the theme of this whole deck. Politics, just sitting around jabbering, not doing anything. Everybody gets bored, and eventually you have a bunch of filibuster counters, and you just win. 5 to be exact. Knights of the Black Rose. They love to protect the elites. They make you the monarch, and then they drain everybody for life. Thanks, guys. Vengeful Pharaoh. Chilling in his eternal nap, and then somebody interrupts him, and he kills that creature, and then goes to the graveyard, and then comes back to the top of your deck. Oldie but goodie alert. Hand of Justice. Tap 3 white creatures to destroy target creature and him. Look at that mustache. That is. He's got some serious gout or like weird issues with his face too. Darien King of Kedrador. He also makes white tokens for the Hand of Justice. That's specifically what his job is. Sitting on a horse throne. Shroom sitting on her butt throne. She got a big old butt. And what she do? She brings artifacts back. So she brings chairs back for everybody else to have. This guy, Herald of Leshrac. I've never played with this card, but did you read the cumulative upkeep? You gain control of other people's lands as an upkeep cost. That doesn't seem like a cost so much as a way to just take over the whole game. I am in love with this thing. Can't wait to play it. Teysa. The old Teysa had a knife and she was going to kill somebody. She was getting all active. New Teysa, so bored. Because she's got protection from creatures now. And she's like, well, I can't even fight anybody. Nobody wants to play with me. Vishkal. Vishkal. This quote fits Vishkal. I mean, he's a really good card. But he's taken up like the mantle for laziest Ortsoff colored person on earth. Like, are they trying to have a lazy off? Are all 3 of these? Wait a minute. Are you looking at this? Is this the magic art direction for Ortsoff here? We want all of our legendary creatures in black, white to sit on chairs or even white. I think just the color white. Wait. Is it all just white? Yep, everything's sitting in... Nope, it's blue too. Just sitting in chairs, doing nothing. Oh, Tassiger's like, hey, it's green too. But yeah, isn't this just like... How is this a fantasy action adventure game? Where's the adventure and action in this? That's why I made this deck, people. Look at this. This is nonsense. Oh, man. But it's going to be so much fun. As you're sitting there, really work it up with the crowd, you know? You're like, look at this art. Oh, my God. It's nuts. I love it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed Chair Tribal. And now for bonus win condition. Oh, yeah. Sword of the Meek plus Thopter Foundry. Basically, you pay 1, sacrifice Sword of the Meek, goes to your graveyard, comes back because a token has been made and attaches itself to it. Repeat, repeat, repeat as long as you have mana.